Everybody, I'm working with feedback and I'm also sending you greetings from Liverpool, which of course is the home of the right to food, and we were the first council to put that through, so I'm here representing the North very much. I know I'm preaching to the choir when I talk to you all, but I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about what the reality of access to food is when you are in our area. So we want to see food systems that are recalibrated from the current global corporate shareholder profit, and we also want to focus back on what matters, i.e. social value, and ensuring that people are well fed, well paid and able to live within their means and within their areas. The big problem for us is access to food. Food injustice begins here. If you can't easily access food and fresh food, you are already at a disadvantage right from the very beginning. And to give you an example of that, one of the areas that I work in is called Knowsley. It is a space on the edge of Liverpool, and it is somewhere where 70% of the 120,000 people that live there are classified as living in a food desert. That means they cannot buy a piece of fruit within 1,500 metres of their home. They have to get on a bus, they have to get a taxi if they're to go and get fresh food. And the majority of the people in this space are also unemployed or have health issues. We've got 31% of the children there living in poverty, and we have found that it is easier to put a bet on than it is to actually eat an apple in these areas. There is a 10-year gap in terms of people's health in that space. So you will die 10 years earlier if you live in Knowsley than if you live elsewhere. We also have a space in Liverpool called Kensington, which is not at all like Kensington in London. There is a 13-year gap between people that live in Kensington in Liverpool and people that live in Kensington in London. And a lot of that is to do with poverty and the lack of access to fresh food. But we've got ways around this. So I've sort of given you the depressing bit, and I'm going to give you the nice bit. One of the things that we do in Liverpool is we don't have markets, we don't have fresh food spaces like you do down here, but we do have a mobile market on a van. So we've got a converted library van that we fill with fruit and veg, and we take it round into different areas of Liverpool and Knowsley where community groups have said to us, do you know what, love, we'd really like you to come and bring some spuds because we can't make scouse without it. So we go with our fruit and veg van, which has conversion enough to carry, enough to feed sort of like 40 to 50 people every time. And we go to 32 different spaces across Liverpool and Knowsley, and we give people the agency and the choice to be able to buy fresh food. So they don't have to go to the food bank, they can get on board and they can buy something. And our prices are all around the local market. It's seasonal food. Where possible, it's local food. I mean, we're a bit limited around Liverpool. It's basically kale, and maybe a bit more kale, but we do also have access to carrots and potatoes from further up north. We are looking at ways in which we can create spaces within neighbourhoods to allow people to live rather than just survive. And we know that the cost of living crisis, the cost of how much it costs to put your oven on, all those other areas that are affecting people's household budgets. So we're starting to do things like slow cooker teaching. So we have fundraised on social media this summer. We raised £5,000 through Twitter, and we use that to buy slow cookers for communities across Liverpool, and we've trained people to then deliver teaching on how to use a slow cooker in ways in which you can then manage to keep your budget, but you can also not spend loads of money on your electricity. So all I want to say is there's hope, but we do have to work together. We have to organise, we have to be community minded, and we have to not work in silos. The key to all of this is that we have to join together as a community that likes to eat, as we all do, and we need to find a way in which we can then shout to the world, shout to them in Parliament and say this isn't on, we need a better way of living. So thank you very much for listening.